The NFL's growth into Europe has been a success, I think, by all accounts.
Massive.
Roger Goodell, I guess at one point during his tenure, laid out to the NFL owners how they get to a certain number. I forget what billions it was in annual revenue. This is how we get to this number that everybody wants. And they said, cool, we got faith that you'll be able to do it, Roger. It was expanding the game into Europe, into other continents. It started with London, and then it built with more in London, then around England. Now, for the first time ever, they're going to Germany. And let me tell you about this massive failure the NFL had in Germany. Only 3 million requests were made for tickets to this fucking game between the Seahawks and the Buccaneers. 3 million requests for tickets for one NFL game, the first of its kind in Munich, November 13th in Germany. At one point, there was 800,000 people simultaneously trying to get one ticket.
Jeez.
What a success for the NFL. What a perfect business move. And what an opportunity for the NFL to showcase a game that we all love to even more people and keep growing this game that has brought so many different people together from so many different backgrounds. I absolutely love this. Guten Tag, more games in Germany next year, we'd all assume, AJ.
But what does that mean? So they have so much success here. They can play all. I mean, the opportunities are endless, really. When you think about the NFL has barely been anywhere but the United States. Now they're starting to branch off. Oh, man. I mean, so every team every year is going to have at least one game somewhere all over the place. And who knows how many games it is 10 years from now.
And the players and coaches are going to hate it. They'll add an extra bye week. One of them will be immediately following your international game, and then there'll be another bye in there. They'll get that thing up to 18 games, and the international market will just be a weekly thing where in the morning we wake up and there's an early game, and then there's a 1 o'clock game, 4 o'clock game, and an 8:30 game. And that'll just become the standard operating procedure because they will be raking in so much money. Think about the TV deals. They add another time slot.
You're right, the early time slot. Yeah, and everyone loves it because on the East Coast, I can wake up and there's a game on.
What did Dan said morning, didn't he?
Yeah.
He said Sunday morning. Then he said Saturday was happening.
Week 18.
So is he talking Saturday morning?
Well, they'll probably do that, but they'll have to do it earlier in the season. And I assume just like how when you guys are playing, you would look at the schedule and look when your bye week is, and now it'll be you look at the schedule to see when your international game is instead.
It's good business for the NFL.
Pat, I have a question for you though. This question may have been posed on other like morning talk shows, maybe on TV, but when
programs
do we find the first? When is the first Super Bowl hosted international somewhere else?
They would have to get a
Outside of
team.
the US.
Wouldn't they have to get a team?
Would they do it though? They don't have to. No.
No, yeah,
It doesn't have to be a home team.
I think so because the way it's currently set up is if you build a new
Stadium and all
stadium.
that.
Yeah, and that's like they turn over all the stadiums each year. It seems like there's new.
Do you think it'll ever happen though? Do you think we'll ever see a Super Bowl outside of the U.S.?
No. Yeah, I do. London will have one for sure.
Would you even need a team?
London will have one for sure. Don't you think?
Yeah.
But what if they just built a stadium?
They would have to have a team.
Have to? Even if they were like, hey, we're going to build this stadium strictly for NFL games because they're going to be coming over here.
Oh, yeah, and they just use that one NFL stadium as opposed to using like Chelsea
Wembley
or
doing
whatever.
soccer stadiums. They just have a football
Qatar
stadium.
has a bunch of extra ones.
Well, those are actually just
those are soccer stadiums.
No, they're not
crates.
They're actually just crates.
Yeah.
They're just
Shipping
shipping crates.
containers.
Yeah, shipping containers. There it is. Yeah, shipping containers. So I guess those could go anywhere. I wonder if the NFL will attempt to buy their own land and build their own stadium out there.
Why wouldn't they? Like,
Probably
it just
already-
makes so
Put a
much
plaza
sense.
in there, a casino.
Yeah, they would have their own like Jerry
Hotel.
World in these countries.
Why wouldn't a current EPL team just pay the NFL to host a Super Bowl over there?
So what we're saying is we think that there has to be ownership of stadium for the NFL to go there.
So year round, just be like a concert venue.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the NFL's going to make so much money.
Could probably still host soccer games in it.
The Europes will be competing in it at some point.
Yeah. And then, are any of the current soccer stadiums? Are they all like indoor?
We're going to have to keep up with their stadiums. Their stadiums over there are nice. Hey, those soccer.
How are they different?
All of them have the fucking grass that just walks outside and suns itself.
Right.
They have
Like
those.
the suites in
Yeah.
the lower entrances, like soccer stadiums over there. I guess I'm just
Yeah, what does
judging.
it feel like, honestly, compared to like what? I'm curious because I've seen my buddies that have gone there said it's awesome. How is the seating different, or is the viewing better? Like, how do they do it?
It just feels like a little bit
Heightened
like
atmosphere.
nicer. It just feels like it's just
Like high end?
Yeah, it feels very high end. That's a great way to describe. It feels like high end when you're.
Is that like it was that at one place where I saw people getting curb stomped on the way in or the way out?
So that was in
Mexico?
I believe that was in the Mexico soccer
Right.
league. That's not in the
But we
EPL.
talked about, I think it was Tottenham had a new stadium, maybe either last year or the year before, when we looked at it, and it was state of the art, unbelievable. All their seats were
Where were
like
they getting that
comfort
money
seats.
from?
Tottenham? I don't know if that's a Saudi league. Tony, you're a fan of the team.
No, I believe they're owned by. Is it?
3M?
No, I think it's what's the name of it?
Coca-Cola?
No, guy who owns all.
Bezos?
Kroenke. Is it Kroenke?
Cronky.
That would be a game
Really?
changer.
Whatever team won, Kroenke had.
How nice would that be, I guess, to just be able to buy? What do you want to do? You want to go to Europe? Well, we might as well have a team there, right? If we're going to go for a week or two, might as well have at least a horse in a race where everybody's home. Yeah, you're right. Have our own stadium, our own suite.
Sounds
Need a helicopter landing thing, helipad.
Right on top of the
Right
suite.
on top of the stadium so when people know that I fucking
Sorry, Kroenke's Arsenal.
let them know fucking daddy's here.
It looks like for like comparing us to like European leagues, we own them on like capacity by like 30,000.
Yeah, they're much smaller, right?
Yes, yeah.
Stadium's smaller.
Their
over there.
largest is 75,000. That's the Manchester United, and then our largest Dallas.
Didn't you say they're all
Cowboys.
seats though, Connor?
So the NFL, yeah, it's all comfortable, I think.
Lot of
But they all
comfortable
stand.
seats.
They all
Yeah.
stand too. The NFL is going to go build 100,000 capacity.
Yeah. It's even more of a reason.
They're going to do it. Is that? I wonder how far. Because if our dumb asses are only thinking of this right now, that means the NFL has already thought about this.
Yeah,
long
long
Like,
time.
they're already having it.
They already own land, I'm sure, all over.
Because there is farmland over there. We drove through. We were staying on
Lots
like
of it.
a golf
Tons.
course, and we drove through a bunch of it to get to the city. You know, I mean,
only-
those countries over there are small, man.
Tiny.
They are small.
So none of the English stadiums are indoor. They'd have to build an indoor one because England has winter.
Oh, so retractable roof. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Introduce that. That's what the NFL is going to do, huh? How will England feel about it?
I mean, I think they'd be pumped if it's just one. I guess, granted, you could probably do a lot more of the international games at that stadium year round, which will even make it more of like an event. Like, hey, we never get to go to the stadium. Football's in town. Let's go check out the new state of the art.
And Bill informed me that by 2029, United is planning on debuting a supersonic, I think, plane.
The Concorde is coming back?
I don't know if it's not the Concorde. I think it's a different company
Right.
trying to do the same thing. So if they build a stadium, this is how we think London gets a Super Bowl. That's how we've got to this point right here. They built a stadium over there, and it takes 3 hours to get there on a flight from New York. I think they get a Super Bowl, and I think it only continues to grow into
You get a
Europe.
team. If you can get there in 3 hours, they get a team quicker than they would before, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, remember Irsay mentioned that. He didn't mention that they would get a team, but he mentioned how Concorde was supposed to make a flight for 3 hours. I was like, oh, that came up in a conversation at some point, probably with NFL teams, like at the one per club meeting. It's like, if we're able to get to London, we're definitely giving them a team. Who are we giving them? Jags. Fucking give them the Jags. Have the Jags start playing over there. Then whenever technology makes it possible from these plane companies for us to get there back and forth, now we're in Europe. Now we're utilizing all of Germany that fucking loves football. Here we go. We are off and running. United Airlines, our hearts went boom. Behold the all-new boom Aero supersonic design coming to the skies in 2029. And that thing is long and dynamic and going to go really fast, and we'll have a lot of other people on it for the first couple thousand flights than us. But boy, if it proves that it works, I mean,
3.5 hours they're alleging New York to London, 4.5 Tokyo to Seattle, and 8 from LA to Sydney, Australia.
look at this. Just like social media, the world's getting smaller, isn't it?
My God.
World's getting smaller.
And they can squeeze out now 2 weeks of Super Bowl stuff, because usually it's just the one Super Bowl week. But if they do it in London, I assume teams will want to go over there the week before the Pro Bowl.
Time change.
Oh, so you're saying like media.
Exactly. They can just expand that entire thing.
And will the Pro Bowl be over there as well?
Has to be. People would love that, right?
That would
Players.
only draw more fans.
The players would like to go to London, I think, right?
Yes, but why don't we just steal some of these alien crap or steal their technology, reverse engineer it, boom, we're there in like 12 seconds.
I think. Well, I don't know if our bodies can handle the
Yeah,
G's.
I was gonna say.
They have some kind of technology that shields our body from the G's.
Well, maybe the technology is the thing shielding it, but according to one of my sources who seen a
UAP.
on unidentified aerial phenomenon, who is a pilot, pretty solid pilot. He's seen one and said that thing had to be pulling like 100,000 G's or something or 10,000 G's.
Yeah, we can't handle that.
So I don't know what it was doing.
We don't have even craft that can pull those kind of G's, let alone humans.
He actually said, I watched it, and obviously the first thing I thought was, what is that? And then second, the person inside has to be just
mush.
Absolutely
dust.
blown apart by the G's, yeah.
Can TC handle it?
Probably.
Well, TC did. He was flying at what, Mach 10 speeds?
Yeah, 10.8.
Yep.
Right, he got up to before the engine blew.
Do you remember that? His face.
Yep.
Because he was actually going.